OpieRadio. Joey Salvia here for episode 66. For this one, we go back to a quieter Gebhards in New York City with the talented, funny lady, Judy Gold. I love the fact that we're doing back-to-back podcasts with female guests, and our very own Robert Littlefeet Mathers is standing in for Mike Sappho, decked out in his Oshkosh Bagosh vest, and he has a great story involving his culinary skills. But first, let's take a call at 888-505-OPIE.
Hey, Joey, Opie, Carl, it's Joltin Joe here. I got to tell you,
Gebhards.
Number 2, part 2, was brilliant. And one of the main reasons was, hey, thanks to bourbon and beer, Opie finally let it all hang out, man. It was really interesting to hear all of that, to hear the whole dynamic of O&A. And why it probably will never, ever happen. You never say never, I get it. But I got to tell you, it was really cool to hear it from Opie's mouth. And I think he expressed a lot of things that many of us fans who have been fans for a long time felt had happened. So anyway, guys, thumbs up, 5 stars. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And happy holidays.
Thanks, Joltin Joe. We appreciate you. And happy holidays, sir, to you and your family. Now let's catch up with Gregg, who's on his way to Gebhards. And he has something on his mind.
Bum, 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 bum. What's going on, everybody? Getting ready for another podcast. I'm going to Gebhards. Yes, Gebhards. The official bar of the OpieRadio podcast. If you stop in, say hi to Matt and say you're there because of the podcast. But I'm meeting one of my friends. She's hilarious. Yes, she's hilarious. Yes, I believe women are funny. Oh my God. Going to be talking to Judy Gold in a minute or two. Looking forward to this. I've been trying to do this for, months. And we're finally doing it today. It's also weird that I'm going back to Gebhards because, as you know, if you're a faithful listener of this fine podcast, the last time I was there for episode 64, near the end, Sherrod surprised me with all that O&A stuff, and it got intense. It got a bit heated. It got a bit heated. It's actually really cold in New York, so bear with me. Heated? Oh, Joey. I don't know why I'm blaming Joey for my frozen mouth.
Joey, you are fired.
But it was also really raw and real. I was thinking about actually editing it out of the podcast because I truly am trying to move on with my life and my career, but decide, you know what? That's one thing about this podcast that people seem to really dig, the realness of it. And, you know, whether it's a sit-down interview with a friend or us just getting sloppy drunk at a bar, I think people are really appreciating the variety of the podcast. I'll be honest, man. It's a word that's overused, but, man, when Sherrod brought that up at the end of the podcast, I was triggered. I got a lot of emotions when it comes to the Opie and Anthony years. And I don't blame Sherrod for bringing it up. I don't blame him at all. I just wish that it wasn't 4 or 5 hours in at a bar where we're all hanging out, drinking, and having a really good time. But can't control that, right? Yeah, I just wish I had a little more time to think about it before I reacted and talked about it. Like I said, I don't regret it because it was all real shit that I've thought about for a long, long time. And I also realized after the fact, because I was so frustrated. I get frustrated when people go, when are you and Anthony getting back together? And it finally hit me that people just simply don't know the whole story. And all they care about is getting that one thing back that meant so much to them. And I'm flattered that so many people really, really like the Opie and Anthony show, and that it was a big part of their lives when they're commuting in and out from their work site or what have you. Yeah, it's kind of like, families that break up. And the kids, they know all the problems that were in the household, but all they care about is having mommy and daddy back together. So I get it on that level. And I also realize, it's kind of like one of your favorite bands. I remember growing up, Led Zeppelin broke up after John Bonham died. And I was so freaking bummed. And I didn't care what issues the rest of the band had, creatively, personally. All I wanted was my Led Zeppelin back together. I didn't give a fuck if they didn't get along or if Robert Plant wanted to do something different. I just wanted my band that I loved to continue doing that thing and continue creating and making great music. So I get it. I'll tell you this, I've read up on Robert Plant a lot because he is one of my favorites of all time, and I would bet a lot of money that guy is just as happy not being in Led Zeppelin as being in Led Zeppelin. I think a lot of the solo stuff he's done over the years, he absolutely loved doing, because you can't measure that shit. You can't measure success with how many records you sell or how many people come see you. You got to be happy inside, and I bet you Robert Plant is extremely happy doing his own thing and doesn't have to worry about the whole Led Zeppelin thing. So I guess I came to the realization that I just understand people's frustration that Opie and Anthony's gone and it doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. I finally understood that. But man, a lot has happened. A real lot has happened. And in the end, me and Anthony are very, very, very different people. Always have been. We found some common ground for a while there, and it really, really worked. But we have just grown way, way apart, unfortunately. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. It was some magical times. I believe that we were better than Howard Stern. I also believe we never reached our potential for whatever reasons. That's for a discussion another day. But anyway, so I don't blame Sherrod. I knew I had to pop on and just give you a few more minutes on that damn thing. I will say this. Anthony keeps harping on the fact that I didn't try to save his job when he got fired. He's obviously speculating, which he has every right to do. But the fact is, I absolutely tried to save his job. And, knowing what I knew at the time and knowing we had absolutely no relationship and all the crap that went on, which I will spare you at this time going into that because I'm going to talk to Judy Gold in a minute or two. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but I just knew the value of Opie and Anthony, and I knew even though me and Anthony weren't getting along and it was getting harder and harder to actually do radio shows together, I knew the brand was strong. I knew the brand could go on in another way. So for that reason alone, just from a money situation, it was smart to continue. But so be it. So be it. He could speculate all he wants, but I'm just telling you the truth. All the people out there that I helped and saved their jobs, they know what kind of person I am and what kind of character I am, and I live with that. So a lot of people ask, do you hate Anthony? I don't hate Anthony. I hate his behavior. I absolutely hate some of the things he does, but I don't hate the person. I really don't. So with that said, I'm heading into Gebhards, and I'm going to talk to the very funny Judy Gold. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. It's time for the OpieRadio Podcast!
It's freezing. I'm getting my coat. God damn it.
And that's how we start. I'm at Gebhards with my friend Judy Gold, and she starts the podcast with, "It's freezing, I'm getting my coat."
fuck shit.
Well, we love this place. It's a beer joint on the Upper West Side. You live kind of near here.
I live.
This
Yeah,
is
I
our
live
neighborhood,
right here.
Judy.
Right. I love this area.
Yeah.
You know that. You know the sushi across the street is fucking amazing.
It's one of the best ones.
Isn't it
on
amazing?
the Upper West Side.
Yeah. I think it's like one of the best ones in the city.
What's the name of it? I don't even know for the people out there.
I think it's I don't know. What the fuck is it?
Just make an airplane noise and and someone will point you in the right direction.
Where's
so
racist? All right.
Is that racist?
Yeah, you can't. You know what?
You don't know what to do anymore.
Here's the thing. It's so bad because, look, I'm not politically correct, as many of them. But it's
God,
like
by the
I'm
way.
also of the generation, like, of gay people where we would call each other fags and dykes and, you fucking faggot, and now it's so awful. You can't say a fucking thing.
But being gay, are you allowed to say faggot still?
No, I could say it to.
And am I allowed to ask that question that way?
Right.
Or should I have said the F word?
Right. You know
No,
what?
I'm being honest.
But you're just being, you can't say it. It's everything's so loaded now. I mean, I could say it to one of my friends, like my gay friends, like, oh my God, you're such a faggot. But you can't say it.
Well, that is insane to me.
You know, I can't say the N-word, which I never did anyway.
Right. But can't we all just say those words if there's no hate behind it?
No, because it's no.
Why though?
I don't know. It's just.
Because when I was growing up,
I mean, if you're say you're taking that word and talking about the word.
Yeah.
People are so stupid now. They won't wait for the intent. Like, what is this person saying?
Right.
It's just about the trigger.
Right.
That's all it's about now. Everything's about triggering. Like the fucking phone, like bing, 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 bing. Like everything's like, oh, what's going on? It's like horrible. And people are so fucking stupid.
It's getting exhausting. I don't even know the rules anymore. Because,
I know.
Because we're about the same age without giving away
I'm
your
40.
age.
Yeah.
All right, I'm 42.
Right.
And, when I was growing up, we did call each other the F word.
Right.
But we didn't know anything about
I was in
the gay thing.
Right. I was in the marching band, and we just called each other band fags.
Right.
You know? Queer meant, like, you're a nerd.
Right.
Or, like, if you did something like, oh, I love you so much, and blah, 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 and you'd be like, oh, my God, you're so queer,
I got to stop you.
What?
So we would call each other the F word.
Right.
Like, don't be right? But we never said queer because somewhere in our brains we did understand that queer was bad.
Oh, really?
And calling each other the F word wasn't at the time.
Right.
The little we knew about the whole gay thing.
So queer to me just meant, like, really nerdy, like...
Odd.
Or gay. Like, gay was, like, not... It wasn't about your sexuality. It was, that's so...
Right.
Not hip and cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
And now it's... But, I have to say... If I hear and even my kids, sports, like Ben Ben plays basketball. Henry always, when he was playing baseball and they would be like, you're a faggot, he would get so fucking mad. Like, it really triggered him. And I was like, this is not a good word. But, I will say it to my gay guy friends.
Yeah.
But it's bad.
Well, I mean, considering we're around the same age, we've seen a lot as far as gay and lesbian goes.
My God.
We come from a time where no one talked about it.
Oh, my
everyone,
God.
Everyone hid.
I was in being in the closet is the worst. I can't tell you how awful it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're walking around just lying or avoiding, who you are, and just knowing that if this person knew this about me, they probably would just,
right.
just not talk to me or just think of me as,
Now,
an abomination.
But now you're very
out and out and out.
Besides being very funny, you're very smart. You're very intelligent.
Oh, thank you.
So when you were in the closet,
What happened to you?
What do you mean?
You're so nice. I love this. I love this real Opie.
This has always been me. I've been trapped.
No, but I knew that. But yeah. Then
I've
you'd
been
get in the
trapped.
studio and I'd have to listen to, like, Mark Norman telling me I'm an asshole, and I'm like, you're 12. Okay?
I was trapped in that shock jock world for a long
I
time.
know.
It gave me a great living, but I
know,
wanted
but
to
it's
move
not
on way
you.
before
You
I
need
did. Thank you.
Evolving.
You got to keep evolving. So When you were in the closet and you're very smart and all that, did you honestly feel that there was something wrong with you, or were you just out of your mind, like eventually society will figure this crap out and I'll be free?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Here's how I can really paint a picture. So Edie Windsor, I don't know, she was the woman who, she just passed away, but she was the woman who sued the government. You know, she went to the Supreme Court because she was with her partner for 40 years. The partner had MS and became a paraplegic.
Yeah.
They ended up having to fly to Canada and got married at the airport. They've been together, 40 fucking years. And with like 3 aides, helping her, and then going back, just to get married. So anyway, she dies, the partner, and Edie Windsor, Thea was the partner. She was a very well-known psychiatrist and psychologist in the city, and so I think psychologist. Anyway, so she dies, and she gets a $357,000 federal inheritance tax bill.
Wow.
And they're together 40 years. Edie was one of the was a mathematician, worked on the first computer on, like this.
Right.
And why is it that she has to pay taxes? She's been with someone for 40 fucking years. And Britney Spears could get married for 15 minutes. And if that guy died within the 15 minutes, she wouldn't have to pay taxes.
Of course.
So they go before the Supreme Court, they win, they overturn Defense of Marriage Act. And I got to know Edie, and when you talk to her, she said, this is what was, they met in like the late 60s.
Wow.
And Thea proposed to her. And I thought, never in my life, when I was, a young child, did I think that I would be able to marry a person of the same sex. Like the fact that they believed that this was a possibility in 1967.
Right.
That blew me away.
And that's where it began?
That's where
More
their
or less?
relationship. What happened was.
But I mean, the whole concept of actually being able to get married.
To get married,
eventually.
it's because of the AIDS crisis, really. Because what happened prior was, there was there were gay men, there were lesbians, and then these gay men kept dying, and the lesbians, no one wanted to be near them except for, I can say fag hags, but straight women and lesbians were coming to their, and here you are, these people they have no protections under the law, and they're dying, and they're realizing, like Reagan and Bush, who just passed away, and everyone's like, they wouldn't know funding. It was horrible. I mean, I remember the AIDS crisis. It's like so even difficult to even talk about because I had so many friends. Like I'm in my early 20s going, oh, my friends are going to die. Like it was,
wow.
You're just thinking, oh, he's sick, he's going to die. And people couldn't be in the closet. I mean, it forced people out of the closet because you would see these gay men walking down the street with sores on their face, wasting away.
Right.
And I think that the fact that we had no rights, it brought that to the forefront. And it really galvanized us as a community. And I mean, it was a horrible tragedy, but look how far we came.
So something great. I was going to say something great came out of it.
The early,
Well, the other part of that also is that you couldn't visit your loved one because you weren't married to them.
Right. So, so there were, people couldn't go into the hospital room. Yeah.
Yeah.
There recently, this is within the past 10 years, these 2 women from New Jersey with kids went to Disney World in Florida. The mother had a stroke, one of the moms. They rush her to the hospital. She's in the ICU. And at this point, Florida didn't recognize same-sex marriage. And they wouldn't let the kids or the partner in. This woman died alone in a fucking...
Jesus.
I mean...
That's insane.
Because the nurse is like, sorry,
right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? And all these guys were dying, like during the AIDS crisis. And, their partners, some of them weren't even invited to the funeral. Like the family was like, no, get away. That's
not knowing your kid Or maybe,
I know. Or accepting your kid. It's not a fucking
right.
choice. Like people with the, it's not a choice. Anyone who says it's a choice made that choice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, no one is going to be like, how can I make my life harder?
Yeah.
You know?
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
So you must hate Mike Pence.
I fucking hate that motherfucker. He is so gay, number one. But the fact, I mean, that kind of thinking,
yes.
it makes me, there's no way, because
Right. And what
as a gay, I knew when I was like 3, I was like, something's weird.
Yeah.
Something weird is going on. And then I became an adolescent. I was like, oh, I just want to be with all the girls. I wanted to, I would have crushes on girls. I wanted to mow the lawn. I didn't want to play with dolls. I wanted to shovel the snow. I was like, oh, how to do it,
But can't you do some of the quote girly things and still be a lesbian?
I can't. Yeah, you can.
Okay,
there
of course
are
you can.
lesbians.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I still wear makeup.
I wanted to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
But Judy,
I wanted to do what my brother did, but I do. I put on makeup. I love getting,
You did try
girly.
the dick though.
I tried it once. But that's
Robert,
another
you
thing.
tried the dick.
No, that's another thing of my generation of gays. Because you talk to gay kids now, they're like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, please, I know I'm gay.
Right.
But it was like you wanted so hard you had to prove to yourself.
Oh, wow.
You
never told me that part of it.
Yeah, it was more like, oh, well, maybe if I try it and I like it, I don't have to have this horrible life.
Right, you don't have to deal with all the horseshit from society.
Right. And I had this boyfriend, he lived in my dorm.
Yeah.
And he had his own room because he was like a preceptor, an RA. And he had a really big penis. Like, it was 10-something. It was horrible. And it was so uncomfortable. Like, I hated every minute. I hated, it just was, it would be like you making out with a guy.
Yeah.
It was just wrong. And he used to be like, why don't you ever come to my room? And I'm like, because I'm gay! No, but I can't say that.
But maybe you just needed a smaller one. You ever think of that? Maybe the big
You're
giant.
such an asshole. Such an asshole. Yeah. No, I don't want that thing. And I love men. Like, I'm not like I'm not one of these, separatist. I love guys. I love my sons. I loved my father. I have so many straight guy friends, But I just don't want their thing near me.
But I'm confused by that. I mean, if you're a lesbian, there's a lot of lesbians that don't like men.
There's a lot of gay men who hate women, which is so annoying and shocking because so many of them emulate women on.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like angry people who just hate
Right. Okay. You'd be proud of me. I got to be careful with this. So, like I said, I'm going to preface this by saying, growing up, come from a time no one talked about it. No one was out and all that.
Right.
And then you fast forward a whole bunch of years. And yesterday I was doing some Christmas shopping, and I was in a candy store.
Yeah.
And there was a transgender in there.
Right.
And you'd be proud of me. I handled it.
Why,
well. I handled it well. Because I think you got to do these things in stages. Wait, was the person
working there?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Waiting on me and everything. It was a black.
Right.
I want to say gentleman. I don't even know what to say.
I know. I have a whole bit about that in my act.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Can I say a black gentleman?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. I mean.
Here's your food, Judy Gold. Courtesy of Gebhards on the Upper West Side.
Wait, I want to make sure I have.
You got everything there, right? You got the grilled chicken. You got.
Are these the pickles? No, those.
They
said they had fried pickles. The fucking shit. Can I have some pepper? I love you, I'm a Jew. Listen, when you really understand, these people.
It's still confusing to me. Can
I know,
I
but
say
I'm
that
just saying,
honestly?
I know a bunch of transgender people. Like, they really are in the wrong body. Like, and a lot of them. This is not an excuse, and but there are a certain percentage of them that really do have genitalia inside,
right, I've heard that.
Or that doctors made this decision when they were born, but they're so tortured. Like, as much as I was in the closet, like, imagine, and I can't stand Caitlyn Jenner, so fuck him, her, sorry.
Why, because of her politics?
She's just, it's like.
I can't say she. It's Bruce, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right, I know, but you have to say, but it's like.
I don't have to say anything, but I will.
Having a fry.
But I will say this. There's no. I told you the waffle fries here at Gebhards on the Upper West Side are good.
Awesome.
I told you you'd have a good time.
So glad I just worked out with my Jewish meeting fries.
No, I could say whatever I want. I don't have any hate. I don't have hate in my heart, but I'm very, very confused. And sometimes I want to say, all right, world, let's slow down a little bit and give people a chance to catch up a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
I understand, but for these people, it's like they're trapped. Like, and you're a hetero, like normative, whatever, cis. Whatever, Jen, I can't with all the shit.
I don't know cis.
I don't know.
Cis means that you.
I'm just a guy that loves my wife and kids.
Right. So
cis
is that you're female and you look female and you.
I look female?
No, I'm saying
she's
cis.
Explain what cis means.
Oh.
Or you're male and you look.
Okay.
Okay.
But so getting back to the candy store, so it was a black gentleman. I'm just saying that for the sake of the story. Nails completely done. Wig. Full makeup, girls' clothes, and I'm just like.
So that's a female. She thinks she is.
Yeah, okay,
female.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. But like I said, my point here is like, coming from our generation, if you're an older guy, you got to give us a little time to really try to figure all this out and catch up. But I don't believe you should have hate in your heart over it. Like or
that they should not be able to rent an apartment.
I'm just saying I'm still a bit confused and trying to understand a lot of this
and
stuff.
in your situation, if we because we're all of a certain age, it takes us a few more minutes to figure it out. That doesn't mean jump on Twitter and Instagram and hate us for just, I got to acclimate to the situation here because it's so new. 10 years from now.
Right. There is part of that if you don't have full understanding. There are people out there that will attack.
But also, as uncomfortable you are, they're like.
I wasn't uncomfortable.
It's more
confusion.
I'm
saying, like,
I was a little like trying.
That's how confused they are.
I was sitting there like, how do you do that? That's what I was thinking. I was like, how do you do that? Everyone's staring at you because we're not at that place.
To her, she was dressed as a woman.
To that person.
To that person.
6'4" easily.
She is. Living her true self,
right.
I even handled it when she said delicious. Huh?
Oh, my God.
Isn't that great? Judy.
So annoying.
I love pissing her off. I love, pissing her off. And then
delicious.
No, because I was asking her about a certain candy that I know my kids would like.
And
she goes, it's delicious. And I'm like, and then inside I went like this a little bit. My head turned to the side. I'm like, but that was the only thing.
No, I get
it. And then I was like, thank you so much. You were very helpful. And I didn't try too hard. I was trying to be cool and just go about my day.
Right, but you were freaking out a little bit.
Oh, well, the delicious. But besides that, everything else
that also
was
goes
good.
against 25 years of instinct for your day job.
Right. My day job.
Well, when being on the air and so, and the kind of show you used to have to do, that would have started a bit.
I got to tell you, all those years I was in that shock jock arena, we were always pro-gay.
Yeah, I think
we would use some language that maybe Judy wouldn't appreciate now, but through all that, you understood that there was no hate in our hearts.
Right,
we were trying to entertain and stuff, but like the time we made a gay guy go down on a girl to get I forgot. I think it was NSYNC tickets, and he was screaming bloody murder. Like, what is that thing? Things like that. But that was just fun for the radio.
No, you can tell when it's hatred and when it's, look, you should live your life and have the same rights as I do.
Yeah. But we still have a long way to go.
Oh, you're not kidding.
We still have a long way to go.
Fucking Mike Pence and his Eraserhead?
Well, he believes that therapy where you could
make someone therapy. I mean, how
make someone straight?
If he believes it so deeply, then he's been through it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what do they do?
Because there's no way.
Have you done research on that?
No, but I want to see that movie, Boy Erased. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Is it a documentary?
No, it's a, it's a movie.
I never heard of it.
I had one, I teach.
Yeah.
I teach solo performance. I teach people how to write one-person shows. And one of my students, trans, and
really?
Much happier now.
Man, I got to be careful about this, but...
Do you hear that?
No,
Those are the waffle fries.
I know, I see that. You know what? I think I could only talk to you about this. I don't got anyone in here that will fuck around with this. But in my kids' school.
Oh yeah, right.
And I walk my kids to school every day, and there's a kid dressing like a girl at let's just say a very young age. Let's
Right.
keep it at that. Very young.
Okay.
Extremely young. And my thought is everyone is accepting because it is New York City. You
Right.
try that stuff in some
forget.
other places, it's not going to be as accepted. No one even thinks twice about it. Actually,
Right.
they really don't. And then you'll look people in the eye and you'll know if they're like freaking out a little bit. No one cares in the least. And I
Right.
sit there as a parent going, how the hell would you know that's what the kid wants at that age?
Well, the kid asked for. I mean, I used to go home and put on my father's tie and stuff. And like
At
walk
what
around
age,
the
though?
house. Like young.
like 5, 6.
Oh, I made them call me Robert and Ringo.
Really?
I get so much shit on the internet from this because I fucking hate you for bringing this up. But yeah, I always wanted to be a boy and get my hair cut and short and everything. But I happen to not be transgender. I happen to just be a les.
Yeah.
And that's how I identified with boys, I guess.
Now, we certainly will move on in a couple minutes, but I just want to ask you, were your parents cool about it? Or did they have to kind of...
About my gayness?
Yeah, or did they have to get to that place?
Well, my father died when I was in my 20s, so he had asked me and I didn't answer, so he didn't really know. Yeah, they were fine.
Well,
my mother was always like, Judith, why do you have to talk about it all the time? Why can't you be... Ellen DeGeneres doesn't bring it up. I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Yeah.
To this day, does she say that?
No, because she's dead.
I'm sorry.
So she doesn't say that.
How long has she been around? Gone?
3.5 years.
Oh, okay. But right up to the end, was she?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Because that's...
I mean, I used to say to her, Ma, you know this friend, her son's gay.
Yeah.
Well, if she doesn't bring it up, I'm not going to bring it up.
Right.
And she was in a nursing home. There was another woman in the nursing home whose daughter was gay. Well, she hasn't tried, Judith, I'm not bringing up the topic. I'm very dizzy now. Like, she would not talk about it.
She couldn't deal, sort of.
Yeah, it's just that generation.
No, I understand.
But then I have, she loved my kids. She loved Elisa.
Do you give older people a pass in general? Now, we don't have to talk about gay and lesbian, just in general. Like, I'll explain. So, at the end of my dad's life, he was at the VFW hall all the time. And the language they used there, holy mackerel. But I knew there was nothing behind it. But they just come from a time where they would throw a lot of these words around that we talked about earlier that seem to not be acceptable anymore. Do you give older people a pass because they just come from another time that they just didn't understand this stuff yet?
It's really hurtful. I mean, I get it. I get that that's there. But I come from a family that would be, smart enough to know that this is not the right thing.
Right.
The fact that they still say it knowing.
Yeah.
It's,
I'll tell you a quick story. So my grandma is one of them. If she was alive today, she'd be 108 for a reference point, okay? And my parents rented a lot of rooms. We had a big house out there on Long Island, and as we all left, they, needed money, so they had tenants, and they took in a black girl. Mm-hmm. Do you say black or brown these days?
African-American.
African-American girl, Judy Gold. And so she was living in the house, and my grandma was living in the house a lot. She would go from, from one son to the other, whatever. But she spent a lot of time at our house. My parents come home from day shopping or whatever, and my grandma walks into the kitchen and goes to my mom, Dottie, my mom's name, Dottie, the colored girl was looking for you. But to my mom,
to her, yeah.
No, to my mom's credit, she goes, her name is, and all these years later, I don't know her name anymore. Right. She was only in our house about 6 months or so. But my mom got visibly really pissed right away.
I love that.
But I saw this whole thing as a little kid, and I also realized that my grandma didn't mean anything by it. But she, like I said, she'd be 108. She was born in 1910. She almost didn't know any better.
Right.
So, yeah. That's why I ask about the older people and giving them a pass, because their experience was very different.
Right, but now it's like most of them have gay relatives or, it's different now.
Well, what is it, 10% of the population? I've heard less now.
Yeah, they say 10.
Now I'm hearing about 8%. They're knocking that number down a little bit.
You just don't want your kids to. What would you do if one of your kids was gay?
Totally would be fine. I didn't even have to hesitate. I'm good.
Really?
I am good, yes. Mm-hmm. And also, but I thank God I live in New York City, too.
Oh, you're not kidding.
That makes it easy, too, because there's a lot more things you got to deal with when you're outside these big cities. right?
Oh, forget it.
Yeah. So no, I'd be good. Why won't you let me go to your apartment? By the way, I want to get this.
Oh, because my
I've been trying.
first of all, it's tiny, but second of all, I have this person comes in and pays my bills and everything, and she was going to be there.
Yeah, but I've been trying to do this podcast from your house for a long time.
All right, we'll do. We
You
can do
don't
it.
want me in your house. You don't want me to see a lesbian house. I've been in a gay house once.
You're such an idiot.
I'm just trying to relate to my friend Judy Gold.
Right, a lesbian. What do you think my house is like?
I don't know. That's
There's
why
one room, it's the kids' room, and then the bedroom, and it's a fucking house.
Do you got like a sex room?
No, I have the tiniest apartment. I have one bathroom.
Would you want a sex room?
No.
No, I wouldn't want one either. That'd
It's
be
too much
weird,
work.
right? It would
It's
just.
too much pressure. Then you walk by like, oh, I forgot to have sex. You know?
You just see that sex swing hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, right.
Got a pile of clothes on it.
No,
Hey kids, don't look in there.
We went to our gay friend's house once for an overnighter. You'd be proud of this.
Who's the gay friend? A guy?
Yeah, 2 guys.
Whose friend? You or your wife?
Well, it started because he was my hair cutter. And then
it's stylist.
You can't even say hair cutter?
No.
Holy crap. Give me the rules after this podcast.
Hair stylist. You don't say hair cutter.
They're cutting my hair.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Do you see my hair? Does it look
Some people's
styled?
hair doesn't get styled.
Right.
Some of them gets cut.
I'm just trying to keep what I have. I mean, they're not styling anything. And besides the weird artwork, I was good with that too, Judy Gold.
Oh my God, they're not all. You act like all gay people are the same.
It was naked butts all over their apartment. They were really into that for some reason.
Where do they live?
It was upstate. They had one of those upstate houses, and they both lived at the time in Brooklyn. But now they're up there for good. We haven't visited their house.
And they live there forever now?
Yeah, they gave up
Did
on
they
the city.
retire?
No, they just gave up on the city. They're doing very well up there. So yeah.
Can you imagine giving up on the city?
Yeah.
You can?
I don't like the city.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't. I'm a suburb guy. I'm a beach guy.
Oh, I love the beach.
Yeah. I mean, that
Well,
was
I need
that
to
was
be
my
there.
saving grace when I got fired. If I didn't have that beach, I don't know. I think I would have went nuts for a little
I know,
while.
you need to be by water.
I always.
Yeah, but wait, how old are the kids?
My kids are now 8 and 6. So it's
Oh,
too.
you're here for a while.
It's too late
Yeah.
now, right? We blew it. Because even when we hint about it, you could see it in my kids' eyes. They're like, they don't get. They
No.
don't, we blew it. If they were a little younger, we could have snuck out like all these other families do. A lot of
But
people.
when you see your kids as they get older and they're so much smarter than,
Really, is that what's
Yeah.
going to happen?
yeah. Like Ben is at boarding school because he plays basketball.
6, 7, and could shoot the lights out of the
Right,
ball.
bitches. And all the kids at boarding school who were from suburbs, or from the suburb, are like so happy. Oh my God! All the kids from New York are like, this is so fucking boring because they're in the
There's nothing to
There's
do,
nothing
yeah.
to do.
Right.
But they're just more savvy. They can travel by themselves.
Right.
You'll see.
I just like the slow pace of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Speaking
no.
of basketball, really fast, did you see
Yeah.
what Steph Curry said? I know.
What's wrong with him?
Thank you. I love Judy Gold because we both love basketball.
But
he
how
doesn't believe we
stupid
went
he
to the
is.
moon.
How stupid is that?
Is he a college graduate? He has to
I
be,
don't know.
right?
Isn't that your job?
Doesn't he also believe that the world is
No,
flat?
that was
No.
Kyrie Irving.
What about Dwight Howard and the?
Oh my God! I haven't even been able to talk about that yet. His transgender, transsexual, trans what?
But also like that he would write. He wouldn't admit in those texts.
Right.
What he likes.
Right. But he was a bottom. He said that.
Really?
Yeah, he said
Liked
that.
it in the ass.
He said that.
Wow.
Or it was assumed, I guess, with all the stuff that came out. Dwight
Wow.
Howard was dating transsexual,
Transgender.
transgender, and she finally had it and blew up his spot. And then next thing you know, he got injured. He's not playing.
Really?
He's not playing right now. Yeah, but Steph Curry doesn't believe we landed
But
on the moon.
how stupid is that?
That drives me. Whoa.
Excuse me.
That guy's pissed
God,
too.
the food here is really good.
That's even better.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with him?
I don't know. And then Kyrie Irving thought that the Earth was flat. He's one of the flat earthers, and I think he's backed off on that a little bit just because of all the crap he's taken for that. How can you believe in this day and age that the Earth is flat?
How can you believe we didn't go to the moon?
Well, because of the flag.
What flag?
They say that the flag on the moon is waving, and but there's no air on the moon. So how could the flag be waving? Which is not true. The flag it was knitted in my high school gym, as a matter of fact.
Is that true?
Knitted with sticks.
Where?
I'm from Verona, New Jersey, in the Annan Flag Company, and that's where it was made, and it's huge. And they took it out of the plant, and they did the finishing touches in my old high school gym.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
We're famous for like two things: that and Jay Moore. That's about it.
Ooh! You know what my high school is famous for?
What?
Gregg, Opie Hughes, and Mariah Carey. I'm the second most famous person from my high school.
How about how I can't... You know, they have our high school Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And they will not put me in it.
Really?
Because I hated high school so much, I think. Because everyone called me Bigfoot and Sasquatch. I'm like walking down the hall all day.
Right.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Orca, Bigfoot.
Yeah, so why would you
I don't know,
embrace
like
that?
all these people like are in the Hall of Fame. I'm like, who the fuck are they?
Anyone we know?
Sorry.
That's lovely, Judy.
Sorry.
They love podcast noises.
That's lovely.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. But
Do you want to be in your high school Hall of Fame?
Well, I'd like them to
acknowledge you a little
yeah.
bit? But see, now it makes sense for me because my star has kind of dropped a bit. But there was there was a time I wasn't even listed. I made a big stink on the air.
You did?
And they finally went, all right, we'll put you on the list.
I just don't get it. Like, I really don't, like, it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah. How was your Hanukkah?
Rich people.
Hanukkah over?
So here's my Hanukkah. It was fine, and I would call Ben on FaceTime and light the Hanukkah candles with him. And then, excuse me, I'm burping now. I was in Fort Myers last weekend. I wanted to kill myself.
Why?
I just,
Well, Fort Myers isn't that fun. Isn't Sanibel Island close, though?
I don't know. All I know is
What do
that
you mean you don't
I
know?
go in a strip mall,
Right.
and then I'm trying to find Starbucks. And then you're driving around the strip mall, and then you're in another strip mall. It's just fucking strip malls.
Yeah.
It's just strip mall after. Then I started crying in the car because I couldn't find the Starbucks. And I'm like, why me? Why? Why me? And I just want a cup of coffee, and I go crazy.
Over Starbucks. I hate Starbucks.
No, I just wanted a cup of coffee.
But you don't go to Starbucks in New York City with all these great coffee shops,
Oh,
do
no,
you?
no,
Okay, good. All right, I'll accept that if you in Fort Myers.
I mean,
you're
there's
gonna-
certain things that you have to go to on the road. Like they have, Jersey Mike's. I got a Jersey Mike's.
Oh, good for you.
Aren't they the best, Jersey Mike's?
That was Carl's competition, so I can't say that they're the best.
Carl who? Oh, really?
The Cuban, yeah.
Oh, I love Carl.
And Carl wanted to be here today, so yeah, we hate Jersey Mike's.
Sorry,
I've
I hate
never had
Jersey
it.
Mike's. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's in Florida.
Fuck Jersey Mike's.
Wait, what's Carl's place?
Huh? Well, that's a story for another. He doesn't have that place anymore, but Jersey Mike's was right next door, so he had to compete with them.
I just,
And we got this thing here for you.
You got the menorah? It was already here. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, we have one more candle, or the?
No, it's done.
Oh, the bulb's
Hanukkah's
just not
done,
lit?
and it's not even a big holiday. It's like a nothing holiday.
But why do you guys celebrate so early? Why can't you be on our schedule?
I don't even know.
Wait, you're Jewish too?
No.
We go by the
He was
fucking
Jewish.
moon. We don't go by the regular calendar.
Oh, all right. And it wasn't no big deal? Did you get anything nice from your partner? From your wife?
My girlfriend, baby.
Wait, you're not officially married?
No.
I thought you guys were.
No, we have to live together,
Right.
and she still. Oh my God! I can't believe these people walking by. All right.
Wait,
Here's the
explain.
thing. We just got. All right. I snore.
Yeah.
Right. So she usually ends up on the couch because I'm a deep sleeper and she's not. And she's like, until we get another bed in the other room in her apartment, we're not. I don't know. She's got all these rules. I don't care.
Wait, so she doesn't want to be in the same bed as you because you're snoring?
Well, we start in the same bed.
Right.
And then she wakes up. But I want to
So
get.
you got to sleep on your belly.
I can't.
Yes.
That's the
Side.
cute, or the
Side.
side. That's
I sleep on the side.
That's an easy
With your head
fix.
propped up.
You know that.
Oh, I have like 12 pillows.
You know, my dad was an incredible snorer, and my
Yeah.
mom didn't sleep in the same room because of it. And I'm not. You know how people talk about how the walls shake?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those type of snorers, deep, and he would stop breathing. This was before.
No way.
Well, this was before they knew all that shit.
Right.
You know, now everyone could get a mask and look ridiculous.
Did he die in his sleep?
No, he died in front of our house. In a car accident.
Oh, that's
In a horrific
great.
car accident.
Congrats.
Yeah, that was. Thank you. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it because we
So
really
glad
thought
I
he was
could
going to
bring that
die in
up.
his sleep. The odds are he was going to die in his sleep. So
Right.
a lot of people lost money that day.
Right.
But yeah, he ended up dying in a horrific car accident in front of the house I grew up in. When I
my
was
God,
5
did
years
you-
old, I moved there.
Wait, did you guys move right after?
No.
No way.
Yeah, it was a little creepy. And then we were all out of the house. This was 14 years ago. And then we finally got our mom in a home. And then the house sat there and rotted for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have it anymore. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my God! So your mother would leave the house, and right in front of the house was. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, we got over it.
Whatever.
You're Irish. You just sort of plowed through the whole thing.
No, obviously it was horrific. But
Right.
it's so funny what took him out because at our house, you never took lefts out of the driveway.
Right.
And that day, there was an older couple picking them up for lunch, and the guy who was driving had one arm. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but he did have one arm. I'm good at describing things.
Well, was he driving a stick?
And my mom's in the back seat,
Right.
basically telling this guy, we don't take lefts out of the driveway. And he's like,
Right.
I could take lefts wherever the fuck I want. But we were in this house for 40 years, and no one took lefts out of the driveway.
Right,
It was
for
a
40
major,
fucking years.
it was a major big
Right.
deal that you took a right, you went up to the first street,
And
and then
then
you
turned around,
U-turned. It
right.
was a main road, and we had hedges, and there was
Right.
and it was around a turn. Long story short, he took that left and bam-o, T-boned. My mom took the brunt of the accident, but my dad was on blood thinners for his heart. And, yeah, he went into a coma.
Fuck that fucking guy.
Yeah, but he was like, that guy was in our family since we were very little.
I don't
so,
care. I hate him. Does he
you
feel
know.
guilty? Is he dead?
I don't know. I really don't know. I want to know who hit my dad.
Wait, so they
Was it
left?
hit and run?
Huh? We know, but we don't know.
Right.
I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I know it was a
Yeah.
lady, and some people think she might have been on her phone, looking down. and
Oh,
stuff. I don't
that's
know.
horrible.
But with all that said, that the guy shouldn't have taken that left.
Terrible.
So. But yeah, it was the same house that we lost all our pets in front. We lost.
Oh my
we
God!
lost-
This is the fucking worst story. Why? All the dogs got hit by cars too?
And a couple cats.
Oh my God!
We didn't believe in a fence, even though we had 7 kids.
That is fucking ridiculous.
We had a house right on a very busy road and didn't believe in a fence. Can you believe that? Yeah.
Mental.
So anyway,
Wonderful Christmas story to end this part on, Gregg. By the way, using the term African American is alright, but it's kind of dated, like calling the girl shorty. So saying black is politically correct, or what I like to say, people of color. Not that I'm an authority, but more than half of my family is black, and so is my son. He calls me Peach. I kind of like it, because with all this white privilege talk going around, it makes me feel less of a bad guy. Hey, speaking of colors, let's give some love to the color purple. Go get him, Gregg.
Oh, yeah, Purple Mattress. I'll tell you why I like Purple Mattress besides the fact that Carl got a brand new mattress. If you're struggling to get a good night's sleep, you've got to try a Purple Mattress. The Purple Mattress will probably feel different than anything you've ever experienced because it uses the brand new material that was developed by an actual rocket scientist. It was not like the memory foam I'm used to and you're used to. The purple material feels very unique because it's both firm and soft at the same time, so it keeps everything supported while feeling really comfortable. Plus, it's breathable, so it sleeps cool. And check this out, 100-night risk-free trial. If you're not fully satisfied, you can return your mattress for a full refund. Backed by a 10-year warranty, free shipping and returns, it's Purple Mattress. Let me just say this. If you're really enjoying this podcast, Opie, actually I'm going to use my real name, Gregg Hughes, would really appreciate it if you got a Purple Mattress the next time you're in the market for a new mattress, okay? I'd really appreciate it. Support the sponsors, you bitch. You could say bitch these days, right? I mean, I love the women, but when you say bitch, it's a female thing, isn't it? I'm so confused by the new rules out there. My God. No, seriously, though, if you like the podcast, please support the sponsors, especially Purple Mattress. You're going to love Purple, and right now, our listeners will get a free Purple pillow with the purchase of a mattress. That's in addition to the great free gifts they're offering site-wide. All you have to do is text OPIE, O-P-I-E, to 474747. The only way to get this free pillow is text OPIE at 474747. That's OPIE to 474747. Message and data rates may apply. Purple Mattress, once again, thanks for getting Carl a mattress. Really appreciate it.
Hey guys, it's Creamy Butters from Plymouth, Mass. Just finished the Kelly Lynn episode. Kelly Lynn is awesome. The chemistry between her and Opie is better than anything. It's awesome. EB Guitar was way ahead of the curve on this when he started talking about her on Twitter. Please don't wait 40 episodes to have her back. Mike Sappho was a great job on this one. I'd really love to see him and his fiancée, Julia, being interviewed by Opie. I think that would be really cool. They seem both like really nice people. And Joey and EB's little Christmas song at the end was fucking awesome. And Joey did a fantastic job producing. He fucking shines through. If I don't talk to you guys, Merry fucking Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck you celebrate. The Jew thing's over, so that's too bad. That was a fun one.
OpieRadio.
So your Hanukkah was shitty.
So I lit candles in the hotel. It was fine. I mean, no, it was like nothing.
Right.
But now we're going to Bruce Springsteen tonight. That's one of my gifts.
Ooh, on
That's
Broadway.
Right, bitches. That's right, bitches.
Everyone's talking about how great that show
I know.
is, and I still haven't gone. Have
And
you
it's
gone?
like, no, I haven't gone. It's one. I couldn't get
It's
tickets
gonna
for
close
years.
soon,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna take an edible before.
Yeah. All right. Let's. First of all, I want to tell the people that Robert's helping me out with the podcast today from Westwood One. Yeah, I love edibles. You have any on you?
No, I just came from the gym.
Yeah. Can I get another one? How great are edibles?
They're so good, but you have to take the right amount.
You
like,
have
I
to be
know
a
I'm
scientist.
10. I'm 10 milligrams. What are you?
I don't know. I'm one square of the chocolate bar.
Yeah, that's 10. Probably.
That's
yeah.
I would imagine it's about the same.
Yeah.
You know, the famous story with Chris Stefano, you heard that, right?
What?
We were going to an Islanders game, and somebody we both know very well gave us some edibles to make the experience a little better. And it's a chocolate bar, first of all.
Right.
I took my little square because I understand.
Right.
And Chris has never been high.
No
And
way in his whole life?
Yeah, and he took his one square.
Right.
And then decided, because the candy bar tasted so good, he wanted more. And he took probably at least another square.
No way.
And we had to go to Brooklyn to the Barclays, which is a very
Yes.
long subway ride. It's about 30 minutes. And we missed our stop. That was the first sign that we were pretty fucked
No
up.
way.
And I've told the story many times, but the story ends with him thinking that he's having a stroke and that a spear is going through his head, and he has to leave. He has to leave the Barclays immediately. This was after the first period. Rangers Islanders, by the way, if you're a sports
Wow.
fan. And then he's freaking out, and he's like, well, you could go back to your seats. You know, you don't have to worry about me. And I'm like, I can't leave my friend in this state. So we leave the Barclays. It's like January, February maybe.
Right.
It's like single digits outside. We're freezing and no one's around. And then all of a sudden I'm trying to do the right thing and take care of him. Next thing you know, he just jumps in a car and takes off.
No way. Did he get home?
Yeah,
Well, obviously.
He got home. He took a shower with all his clothes, if I remember. And
Oh,
then,
my God.
And then for the next day and a half, he kept texting me, asking me if I was still high. For the next day
No
and
way.
a half. Yes.
I love that guy.
See, I
Yes.
used to make brownies.
That's
and
the short version of the story.
You do?
Oh yeah, and I had
You make pot brownies?
Yeah, I'm perfecting it. Well, with Carl here, I'll get it wrong. But so one time I was sort of distracted, and I'd done the whole infusing the butter.
The butter, yeah.
And so I get everything all set. I'm preheating the oven. I've mixed everything up, and I made this is probably I've been doing this for a while, and I made the mistake of, I took a phone call, I hung up the phone, or while I'm on the phone, I'm just doing this. I'm licking the bowl, licking the spatula.
Oh, forget
my
it.
God.
Forgetting that what I put in it.
Right.
And then at some point, my roommate comes home and says, what are you doing? He looks around, he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm preheating the oven and I'm watching Hangover on TV. And he said, well, it's Hangover 2. and how long you been standing there? I'm like, nah, the movie just started. I literally zoned out the entire time, stood in place, went through all of The Hangover and a quarter of The Hangover 2.
way.
It's just standing there?
Just standing there with the oven very well preheated and the uncooked brownie sitting ready to go. Like, because I licked the bowl.
Wow.
So now I have post-it notes that say, don't lick the bowl. Everything's all science now.
You would so put a baby in the oven. You so would do that, you idiot.
On my birthday, not this year, last year,
Yeah.
we went to a friend's in New Jersey. We're staying over, and then we had an edible. It was a Rice Krispie treat, and Elisa, my girlfriend, didn't eat lunch or whatever. She was waiting for dinner. So she takes a bite of this Rice Krispie, and then she's hungry, so she starts eating the whole thing. Literally, I had to sit on the fucking couch with her. We had to cancel dinner. I had to take her to the mirror. She's like, please let me look at myself in the mirror. She had couch lock. It's called couch lock. And she's sitting there, I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not going to die. Can you walk me over so I can look at myself? It was the fucking worst birthday of my entire life.
That's the best. I love that.
Fucking pain in my ass.
I love that your birthday was ruined.
Ruined.
Am I sick?
Yeah.
No, you gotta know how much. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And they make them so tasty. You gotta just be very careful. You do the vape?
Oh, I have the vape, yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I enjoy the vape. I do like to smoke, but I've noticed that it's bad. I get like...
What do you mean? Oh, you get too
I get
high?
a cough. No, I get coffee.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
gotcha.
I get a cough. Oh my God, this
so-
is like...
So let's seg into comedy, man. You got a new CD
I have
out.
a new it's not a CD.
I
they
know,
don't
but
have CDs.
I know
I call it an album.
But that's even sounds silly.
Shut up.
Well, no, it's a
We're the
collection
same- we're more or
of
less the
tracks.
same age.
It's still, I think,
It's
albums.
still
But what do you
album.
call it? A new.
I call it my album. It's
how about
called
a new
Kill Me
special?
Now. Wait, I can't get a special because I'm too old. No one will give me a fucking special. Wait.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that.
It's so horrible, and I'm so funny. It's just not fucking fair. It's so frustrating.
Let me say all that because it's
Okay,
the truth.
sorry.
Judy Gold is very, very funny, and there is a real thing that happens out there, especially with older women comics.
Right.
They're not fitting a let's call it an
Algorithm.
algorithm.
That's
Is a
what
good
they
way to
call
say
me,
it.
yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're really funny and stuff, and you're probably funnier than most of the people that we are giving specials to, but you're not fitting our algorithm. Who's fitting the algorithm? Young? What
I'm
else?
telling you, it's just
like,
all people in their 30s and maybe 40s. I don't know.
Right.
But I swear to God, you get funnier as you get older.
Of course, because you have more
Like, and
life
you're
experience.
fearless, and
Yeah.
and you could give a shit, you know.
Right, because you're not worried who you're going to be pissing
Right.
off
And
for the
it's-
most part.
Yeah, exactly.
For the
And
most
it's
part, you got to be
just-
careful still. But.
It's horrible. It's so hard. I can't. Netflix? No, I don't fit the algorithm. Comedy Central, you've aged out.
They
Aged
said that.
out, yeah.
Wait, they're giving specials to everyone on Netflix.
I know.
Everyone.
Not me. Not Judy Gold.
And most of them know.
Well, they're not specials anymore. That's why I was like, I love albums. I love comedy albums. That's how I listened to comedy when I was growing up. And then when you go see the comic, you kind of want them to do the bit that you heard on the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like these Netflix specials, they eat up everyone's material, and they're,
Right. And you can't really.
Right.
You don't really make money off these things anymore, do you?
No.
Because everyone
Nothing
just
makes a difference anymore.
Everyone just grabs it for free, unfortunately.
I mean, wasn't the purpose of these specials so that you would lobby the club in your town or your city to book the comic to come see you on tour?
Yeah.
Right, so you get a Netflix special, you get some heat, and then clubs book you. But
Right.
you have to have new material, because
Right.
if people watch your Netflix special, they're like, oh.
But the clubs still love you.
I mean, in the city, but it's like hard to get decent clubs on the road.
That is ridiculous.
It's just so hard. And I'm so I'm not kidding, I'm really funny.
Yes.
Let me say that.
Okay, sorry.
No, you really are, though.
Thank you.
And I was, I did a quick Google of you just to,
Oh, God.
no, just because I wanted to make sure we promoted your, not album, I want to say album. Well,
It's an album.
All right,
Kill Me Now.
what's it called?
Kill Me Now.
Kill Me Now, and how do you get it? Through all the
anywhere. You
all
download
these,
music.
all the usual places. That's a dumb question too. How do you get it? Because there was a time you asked that
It
question.
was only available in Sam Goody.
Or wherever, right. But I did a quick Google.
I love Sam Goody. Yeah, go ahead. I did. I love that. Because I grew up in New Jersey, and you'd go to the fucking mall and like look at albums at Sam Goody. All right, go
I
ahead.
kind of miss that. The kids have no idea. The thrill of walking into like a Sam Goody's, a music store, and just browsing and finding new shit. I mean, they're doing it another way, obviously, but there was something about it.
See, the kids that are into vinyl now, there's a rack in Target, for example, and they think that's a big deal. Like, no, you have to go to a record store in the city.
Yeah.
And you have to take the bus to get in, and you have to, not tell your parents you've gone into the city.
Right.
It's a Jersey thing.
Well, I liked going downtown because all those really small record shops always had
Bob's.
imports and illegal stuff. Remember the illegal stuff?
Sure.
It was like Nirvana in concert in whatever,
That's how we
Columbus,
got
Ohio.
all the Beatles stuff that we got over the years.
But you know, we used to remember you used to go to the like Tower Records and you'd like get stoned and then you'd 3 hours.
That was heaven.
Like, and no one's bothering you. You're looking through albums. You're reading liner notes. Like that was the fucking best.
That was like early. How can I explain? Early internet. Do you remember the magazine section?
Oh yeah.
And now all that stuff you could find online, obviously. But you would find some weird, far out, fucked up magazine.
It was great.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
But anyway, so what I learned, and
album cover
I've known you for a long time. You started comedy almost on a dare or a goof.
Yeah, it was a dare.
That's a great picture,
Isn't
Judy
that?
Gold.
That's my album cover.
Judy Gold, Kill Me Now, and she's got her hair did.
Yeah, it's like 70s disco.
You got your hair did, and you got your makeup on. Looking hot, Judy.
Hot, baby.
Looking hot.
Yeah, I was in college, and we did Secret Santas, and my Secret Santa like left me a note saying, you have to do stand-up and use everyone who lives on the floor as your material. And that was the first time I did it.
But let me ask you this. Did you have an inkling to do comedy before that day?
I was always funny, and I wanted to be a performer, but I didn't know in what like, first of all, no one's going to, cast me as an ingenue.
Right.
But, I was drawn to comedy. I think, I mean, I loved Joan Rivers. I loved comedy,
Who were your heroes growing up? Joan Rivers, obviously. I would think a little, can I answer this for you a little bit? I'm sorry, because it's better to try to figure this out.
For you,
Is it all female comics?
No.
Okay, so would you go, let me get Phyllis Diller out of the way.
I love Phyllis,
Okay, so Phyllis Diller, Joan Rivers. I'm thinking George Carlin?
Love George Carlin.
More than Richard Pryor?
I love George Carlin, but I also loved Richard Pryor. Yeah.
Okay, and who else makes up that list?
Toady Fields.
See, I don't know
Toady Fields.
I know the name, but I don't know what she did.
She was like Melissa McCarthy, funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just fucking hilarious, no boundaries.
Right. Would she just take on everybody?
I mean, she would just do anything. Like she didn't give hilarious. A fuck. Yeah, she didn't give a shit.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I mean, of course there were like the Henny Youngmans and but
those were joke writers.
Yeah, they were just
one-liners.
Joan really did it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, Joan was all right.
Yeah.
I never got to have her on the radio.
Oh, she was fucking great.
I always wish I could have talked to her. But so on a dare, but I mean that person knew that you were funny and that
right.
So
because he used to bring me in his room and say, tell the story about blank or tell the story about this, and then he did, yeah.
So then you had to do this comedy act.
Right, and I used everyone who lived on the floor, and I got my first laugh, and it was fucking that was it, done.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
I get it.
Yeah.
No, not for the laugh part, but
just knowing, oh my God, this is what I'm meant to do.
The first time I talked into a microphone at a radio station, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do anything else
ever.
I just knew, like I went boom, and I was 18, and just
I was 19.
I couldn't fucking believe how cool it felt and how whatever.
And now look at you, Opie.
Oh, I'm in a bar on the Upper West Side at the end of my career.
Oh, shut up.
But then, is it true? I also I was reading articles really fast because I didn't think we were going to do it today. I like to prepare for these podcasts now. The first time in my life, I'm actually preparing a lot.
We can do another one.
Yeah, I'd love to. But is it true your first professional gig you had diarrhea, or did I read that wrong?
Oh God, yes, I was. Well, it was at the Charter House in New Jersey in Scotch.
Oh, in Weehawken?
No, there was
the other
Scotch.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were doing stand-up because it was the 80s and everyone did stand. And I remember I was so sick to my stomach.
But this is your first official gig.
Right. I got $50, which was a lot of money. I mean, that's what we get now.
Right.
But
you had an upset stomach, a sour stomach, as
sour.
they say.
Sour stomach.
All those farts must have been brutal.
Shut up. Remember when you were nice like an hour ago? And now you've turned
Is that bad?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'll go back to nice. I get excited when I talk to you. You know that I've told this on the radio shows over the years, but first time I met Judy Gold, I want to say it from my podcast too.
Yeah.
I met her through Brother Weeze. Brother Weeze.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, who's my mentor. We're going to go see Brother Weeze, I believe, very, very soon. Let's just put it that way. And he was in Montreal for the Comedy Festival.
Right.
When I was fired, I was out of radio for 2 years, so I went up and hung out with him. And he was interviewing Judy Gold. I was so intimidated by her. That's how.
By me?
Yes, there was something about your personality is bigger than life.
God.
And then
Yeah, and then I came. Then I think I went on your show in
No.
Montreal.
No,
Yes.
no, because well, then maybe when I was back
Yeah,
on
yeah,
radio.
yeah.
No, I didn't want, even when I got back on radio, I was scared to have you on.
Oh my God.
I'm just being
so
honest with you.
nothing. I'm like.
No, at the time, but that's kind of a compliment,
Right.
though.
Oh, thank you.
Because one of the things that was so intimidating was you were so fucking funny.
Oh.
Not was, you still are, but I was like, this chick is funny.
No, I don't fit the algorithm now.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? It's like, look, and Lewis Black, who I love.
Right.
I mean, he fits the algorithm,
Right.
and he's older than me,
Well, you got to get a twitchy finger.
Yeah.
But is it a male female thing?
Absolutely.
Of course,
Because
it's a
Marin
female
just got
thing.
another special.
Who did?
Mark Maron just got it. I'm seeing it all over the internet. But Jen Kirkman has to fight to get him.
Right. It's fucking ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, and you're funnier than all of them,
I know.
or most of them. Let's say most.
No, you can say I mean, we can use all.
No, you're. That is too bad. You think that'll
Yeah.
change?
I mean, like, it's so depressing.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. Part of me is like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do my albums and.
Right.
But it's just, you see all these people and then it's not, a lot of it is the money.
Right.
It's like, I just don't want to have to worry about money.
Of course.
And it's, I don't know.
Because you're still hustling, right?
All the time. I hate it.
The stand-up.
Like, I just want to fucking relax.
Someone like Judy Gold has put in her time and has a great career, has done everything. I mean, TV, all sorts of stuff. Like, you would think they don't have to hustle anymore.
Right. No,
They
it's
still
constant.
have to hustle.
I'm out 5 nights a
constantly.
week doing
Still.
sets. Yeah.
Wow. And then something else from these articles, I was like browsing really quick because I wanted to be a little prepared. What was the thing with you and Chris Rock where you were standby comics?
Oh, yeah.
I love the inner workings of being a comedian and comedy clubs. Can you explain that?
All right. So in the 80s, there was like Catch a Rising Star. There was the comic strip. There were the Cellar was downtown, but there were a bunch of comedy. U Grant, and there were no cell phones. And if people got stuck on the subway or in a cab and couldn't get to the gig, there was no way for them to contact the club to say, "Listen, I'm running late."
Right.
So Catch a Rising Star, which was the club on First Avenue between 77 and 78. They had this thing called the backup. And on the weekend, I got hired as the back. I'd sit at the bar. You'd sit through the whole show. You'd get paid $50,
Right.
which was what you got for a set. And, and you'd only go on if someone didn't show up. And so it was really just to have someone there. And the 2 backups were me and Chris Rock.
Is that
That's
crazy?
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So did you come up with Chris Rock?
Well,
Who was your group in New
my
York?
group is Ray Romano,
Wow.
John Stewart.
Wow.
Um,
I'm going to give you one.
go ahead.
No, you got to give me the names. I'll give you one. No, that's
Wanda Sykes.
Wow.
There was one club at Comedy U Grand in Soho. On Thursday nights, they did all women comedy, and we got paid $5.
Jesus.
And that's how I met. That's because we could never work together. Like, the women could never work. No clubs would put 2 women on a show. And then there were some clubs where you'd call up and be like, "Listen, I want to work there." And they'd be like, "Oh, we had a woman here 2 months ago. She didn't do well, so we're not hiring any women."
Can I ask you? Well, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? You think the women were always funny? You think some of the women out there that came up?
I think there were less women. I think the percentage of funny women to all women was the same as guys, but there were just less. I mean,
So-
Elaine Boozler was fucking hilarious.
I saw her many times. She
Yeah.
used to play Rochester when I lived up in that area.
Fucking hilarious. And she
Unbelievable how
just did my
funny she was.
podcast, and she told the story of how she had to produce her own. Like, she went in, everyone was getting specials, all the guys in her
Yeah.
group, and they said, no one wants to listen to a woman speak for an hour.
Wow. So it was a male chauvinist
Yeah,
world.
it's still
And-
like
and
that.
It still is
I mean,
to a
being a
point.
comic, you're power. It's a position of power.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't see women. You
See,
know,
but and younger women or other women have been conditioned. So I dated a woman for a while who, and I'll watch any comedy special. It's just
Right.
you know how I blow off steam, and she would, I don't want to watch women comedians. Like, why? Well, no, I don't think they're funny.
but how can
I
you
couldn't.
say that?
That's why I said you're a woman. How do you not? Well, I can't relate. It was just
It
blew
has
my mind.
nothing. Why is a
So
joke
weird.
gender or age anything? Why
Right.
is there a demographic of
Right.
funny?
Yeah, funny's funny.
You know, funny is fucking funny.
It's as simple as that.
Right.
There's a lot of closed-minded people out there if they're not
Right.
thinking that. Can I ask you 2 tough questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Louis C.K., do you feel like he should be able to come back?
Absolutely.
So do I.
I mean,
I don't.
look, he did a
I think
shitty
he's
thing.
I think he's a creep. I think he's done creepy things.
Right, but you
there's
can't.
a lot of.
It's like telling a painter they can't paint or a writer they can't write. You know, it's like that's what he does.
And he did his time. He took a year off. He didn't.
And also,
he didn't
the
go to.
audience is going to decide his fate. You
Right.
know, and whatever. You can't tell someone not to do their art.
I know it's funny.
And if
about-
you don't, you know, if you think he's a creep, then don't go or don't support
Right.
him or whatever.
He has the right to try to, continue his career.
Right.
But with that said, I mean, a little inside knowledge here, and I'll keep it very vague. You know the comics out there. There's a lot of creeps, man.
Oh my God, they're shit. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If the people out there only knew.
I know.
Oh my God, that's why I get mad when comics go after other comics
Right.
for that type of thing. I'm like, come on, man, you know.
Oh my God,
You're in the
it's
clubs enough to know some of the crazy ass shit
We're
that goes on.
mental.
Right.
We're mental. Well, that's, we're not normal. But yeah, there's so much shit that goes on.
Yeah, and then the Kevin Hart. That's the
Oh,
tougher one.
horrible.
That's the tougher one.
I wrote to him. I mean, I tweeted.
Some of
I
those
said,
tweets, I'm not- I-
here's the thing. There were horrible tweets. He's never been he's been nothing but nice to me.
Same here.
Respectful.
Yeah.
He apologized.
Yeah.
Our goal as in the LGBTQ or STUVWXYZ community is for people to change and to evolve. Here's an example of someone who did evolve, and now you're gonna fucking keep punishing. It's like, come on.
The tweets were from 9 years ago.
Right.
And that's what.
I mean, they were horrible, but
And then what did the Oscar? What is it called? The Academy, I guess. They wanted him to apologize again, and he basically said,
He
"Yo,
was like,
I
no, I
apologize."
already apologized, but that's them controlling him. So I see
Right.
why he would be like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do. And it's not like he was,
And he'll be
he's hosting
fine.
the Tonys.
And we live in a dangerous time because now we have so many people.
Oh God, I got 2 gigs canceled this year too.
For some of the things you have said.
I got a gig canceled at the Huntington Jewish Center.
That's my area.
Yeah, Huntington. They sent a deposit. I was booked.
Yeah.
And then they booked me in January, sent a deposit in March, and then at the end of August, they're like, we can't have her. My agent's like, you can't just cancel. There's no way for her to get that.
Right.
It was in October. That date filled. They're like,
that's
well,
real money you're losing
you need
out on.
you need to have a reason. They're like, we're not singing from the same songbook.
What does that mean?
They're Trump supporters.
Oh my God! You're getting.
And it's like not like I go on stage. If I'm doing a private gig, I'm not going to be political. You know.
Right.
There's that, and then an LGBTQ or STUVWXYZ community.
How many letters are there really? Can I?
LGBTQIA.
IA is official now.
I don't know, and then P for pan. I don't fucking.
For what?
I
P
can't.
for what?
Pansexual. I can't.
What's a
Little
pansexual?
from
I don't
column
know.
A, little from column B.
I don't know. It's like everything doesn't matter the gender. I can't. I can't fucking deal
Like I
with
said
that.
earlier, give
So
me a little
fucking
time.
Annoying.
Give me a little time. I love people.
I can't even take it.
I love people. That's the God's honest truth, and it's always been the truth about me. But man, you give me a little time.
I mean, cut the shit already.
So that leads into the Trump thing that I was sort of going to avoid today. But if you're losing gigs over that, I did want to ask that. Well, I was going to ask if it's affecting your career a little bit because you're very vocal about Trump and how ridiculous he is.
Here's the thing. It's not even like your politics. It's not if you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent or whatever the fuck, your Green Party, whatever. He's a horrible person. He's a liar. Anyone else would have been fired already. It's just awful. I'm sorry. He's not qualified for the job, and he's not a good person, and he's surrounded by these fucking criminals, and he's like colluding with Russia no matter what the fuck you say. Yeah. He has no respect for the Constitution, for the laws. He's embarrassing. He doesn't read. It's come on already. Well, it's him as a person.
And this is, so why can't you, why can't, I don't want to say why.
It's also,
no, I don't want to say why can't you keep quiet, because that's ridiculous, obviously. But you know that affects your career.
But it's like you're a social commentator when you're, it's like I can't not say.
My thing with Trump is that there's so much, no matter what you think of the guy, there's so much comedy there. He does some ridiculous and says ridiculous things.
It's scary now.
But people cannot, and this has been a theme for a long time with me, people cannot take a joke about their guy anymore.
Right, that's the thing.
It drives me nuts.
Like, you could make fun of George W. Bush all the time, like he couldn't say nuclear. No one got up and left.
Right.
Because Trump has no sense of humor, and he's not humble, and he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. He's not self-effacing. When you laugh, it's sort of like you're giving up. You're giving someone else the power. So he can't do that. He's got to always. Right. And I feel like, his supporters, they just hear something and it's like, oh, I'm done. It's like, no.
Yeah, you put a little tweet out. Well, you're not even really showing your politics, but he does something ridiculous, and you put a tweet out, and then people are like, I'm done
Fuck
listening to you. You don't see
it's
the humor
funny.
in this?
Yeah, I know.
And maybe I don't take politics that seriously because my whole career, I mean, I go way back, but I mean, I almost go, who's that, Judy Gold?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right, bitches.
But I mean, well, let's start with Bush Sr. and then Clinton and then Bush again. And then Obama.
There were so many fucking jokes about Clinton.
We made jokes about all of them.
All of them, and you can't make a joke. This guy is
so you do make jokes about all of them.
Oh my God, yeah, and the fact that the Democrats have no fucking balls at all.
None.
Zero.
None.
Because, get the fuck, what the fuck?
I mean, with Trump showing all his vulnerability, I'm sitting there going, when is someone from the other side going to step up?
Well, he's such a bully, and they're all afraid
they're just scared, right? They're all scared of their careers down there. You might be right about that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. You were saying before, Judy Gold, that his supporters, they're not they're very singular focused.
Right.
They're not. They can't take the joke, and I think he's found those people and given those people who were always like that,
right?
Validation and a voice,
absolutely.
So that they just take out after everybody else. Yeah. And they're knocking down artists left and right.
Yeah. Well,
and this whole attack on the media, which is grammatically incorrect, but and the fact that someone like Fox, for example, yelling at the other people, the fake news media. They bring in billions of dollars in advertising. They're as mainstream as everybody else.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the poor journalists, they go embed themselves in the fucking war
zones,
and to bring us the news. And he's like, and he has fucking bone spurt. You're a fucking asshole.
Look. Like, how can you not find it funny
He's just such a dick.
When Jim Acosta was getting kicked out of the White House and Trump was pacing like a
I know. When he kept walking, he's like, get him out. He's such a fucking two-year-old.
He was losing his mind. Jim Acosta's holding on for dear life. A girl's trying to yank him. How do you not find all this funny?
He looks like such a fucking mental patient.
Look, and, this... My experience with Trump, he called the radio show a lot.
Right.
He was so... entertaining.
Right.
He really was
but he shouldn't be president.
Let me finish. But soon as he hung up, everyone in the room would look at each other and go, what an idiot.
Right. Right.
Meaning he is so full of himself,
Right,
but we
right.
knew he gave us great radio, and that's all we cared about back then. But we all looked like, oh my God, this guy is out of his fucking
Right.
mind, but he's entertaining us all
Right,
hell.
right.
But, you know, fast forward, he becomes our president.
But it's like anyone else would be fired already.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think so. I guess a lot of people are going to go, you know, I really enjoyed the Judy Gold episode, but
Yeah.
that last 10 minutes,
Oh, God. It's not about your politics. He's a fucking, and like, well, he didn't even, like, no one voted for him in New York.
Well,
'Cause
I
we all
don't-
knew him.
I used to make fun of Obama, how, you know, he would brag about his basketball skills, and this is
Right.
something me and you can relate to.
Right.
He stinks at
Yeah.
basketball.
I know.
And I used to laugh my ass off. Like, he'd be out there in the basketball court that they set up for him
Right.
with his sleeves rolled
Right,
up, trying
right,
to
right.
shoot and make layups and missing shot after shot. No form, no
Right.
style. He was a nerd, that
Right.
guy.
Oh, so
I don't
nerdy.
remember Republicans in the early or in the mid '70s yelling at Saturday Night Live about
Right.
all of the Ford impressions or the Carter impressions
He
or any of that
can't-
stuff.
he
They
can't
didn't.
take
Or
any-
Reagan.
yeah,
Reagan
yeah.
didn't attack. And HW embraced Dana
Right.
Carvey's impression of him.
He did. Well, I was trying to think, you know, how far does it go back where you know, you can't take a joke about your guy in politics. And we come from the era of Johnny Carson. Johnny, you didn't know where he stood politically.
No, not at all.
'Cause he made
People
fun of
kept their mouths
everybody.
shut,
Because
yeah.
so it goes all the way back to then. He knew, like, if I really show my colors
But
here.
he's so divisive, Trump. He's so divisive.
Right.
Like the shit he says about the Democrat, and you know he's a Democrat. And like you're pro-life, quote unquote. Like how many abortions did you pay for?
Right. Yeah, that should be said. We
Right.
live in New York City. We grew up with Trump.
Right.
I remember being a kid on Long Island. I get on the Long Island Railroad, excuse me. And one of the stops, we went to the St. Patrick's Cathedral, Rockefeller
Right.
Center, Times Square a little bit because it was really seedy and
Right.
scary as shit, but you wanted to check it out.
Right.
And then we would go to Trump Tower. And I remember him walking through the lobby once. This is a million years ago, and people back then were like, holy fuck,
Right,
there
right.
he is. So we all know, but my point is, to Judy's point, I'm just backing her up the long way here. Everyone in this town, this city, knew he was a Democrat.
Right.
He changed parties.
Right, because they took him.
He changed parties.
Because they told him this is what you have to do, and he's like, I could do that. I could
Right.
do. You know, it's just there's no integrity.
Yeah, but my
He's not a public servant. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit about anyone else but himself.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Right.
And I just had to ask you that because I see you on Twitter and you're
he's
fighting
so
everybody.
annoying.
And
he's just so annoying.
And I was going to ask if it affects
Like,
your comedy, and here
it
we're
just-
here we're
yeah.
learning today that you've had a couple gigs canceled because of that. That's
Yeah.
too bad. That's
Stupid.
really too bad.
So dumb. It's not like you go to the Philharmonic and you're like, oh God, the first violin player is a communist. I'm leaving. You know, it's like fucking stupid.
And then back to the point with Kevin Hart and everybody else. Will it happen to you?
Yeah.
Where you've read the book 1984.
Yeah, of course.
I read it like every 5 years, and if you take a few years off and read it again, you're like, oh my,
Right.
this guy figured it all out.
Right.
All those George Orwell figured
Yeah.
out all those years ago. And in the book, they talk about how you were encouraged to tattle on your fellow
Right.
citizens, and that's what we're doing
Right.
now. Like Kevin Hart's gonna host the Oscars, and then everyone quickly went to Twitter to find all
This
the old
is why
tweets.
the
and
social media is so suck bag. Horrible.
I agree.
I hate it.
And the people that are getting the other people in trouble, I would love to look into their past to
I
see
know.
the horse
Yeah,
shit
you're
they-
so fucking perfect.
No one's perfect. We all
I
have
know.
said dumb, stupid things.
Hate everyone.
But on the flip side of social media, when we're done and when the show posts, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh
just-
yeah, I'll be there. And buy my fucking album, please.
We'll do a little crisscross,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, can you leave my name out of it because you're gonna get attacked again?
Yeah,
And we
great.
had so much fun.
I know.
This was a really good episode, man. Anything else, Judy Gold?
No.
You all right?
Yeah, I want to go to the Russian School of Mathematics across the
I
street.
see that. The Russian School of Mathematics. What do you think is?
Fuck is that?
That's not a plant.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
right.
I've never noticed that before. All these
They
years
just
living
put it
over
up
here. Oh,
while
they
we
did?
were
Is that
talking.
true? No,
What do you? Why does that have to be the Russian
I don't.
School
Who
of
the
Mathematics?
fuck knows?
Oh, I wish I had a quick joke here.
Yeah, well, you know.
Fuck, I don't. She goes, yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
All right, I'm getting
All right,
ready.
Judy,
I gotta
Judy.
go, Bruce. I'm gonna have my edible.
Oh, right,
It's
right, okay.
Very exciting.
Thank you so much
Thanks for my
finally doing
chicken
this.
sandwich. It was
Of
so
course.
good.
And let's do this again.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
How about we do edibles in your apartment and podcast? And we'll do
All right,
each other's
that'll be-
podcasts at the
okay,
same time.
okay.
at the
then
same
I'll-
time.
But my apartment's tiny.
I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Who do you think I am?
I don't know. I don't know anymore. Who are you?
I grew up extremely
I know.
poor, man. All right.
right.
Judy, thank you so much. Once
Thank
again,
you.
the album.
Kill Me Now.
Kill Me Now. I really encourage everyone to go get it. Judy Gold is seriously one of the funniest fucking
Thank
comics
you, Opie.
of all time.
Thank you.
No,
I know they
of all
introduced me as a
time.
legend last night. I'm like, I can't with the fucking. I'm old.
Don't say legend.
That's what he said. Mike Yard introduced me. He's like a legend. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to do a set.
She's still doing it. She's still topical. She's still funny. She's still a lesbian. I get one more in. Come on.
So annoying.
I didn't even mention that when you first started
I know.
your career that you did a lot of material about your mom.
Yeah.
Your Jewish
all
mom.
the time. Yeah.
And then you segged
Now she's
over.
dead.
You segged over to the. All right. We
Whatever.
can save it for next time. Because
All right.
you obviously want to go. I know body
Well,
language.
no,
Your
I
left
just,
foot is like all the way over there now, heading
It's
toward the door.
4:03 right now.
Okay.
I have to get ready for the Springsteen, and I have some work to do.
How about ending with this favorite Springsteen song?
Oh God, that's good.
I think I still go Thunder Road.
I know.
Just
Thunder
to start
Road is
this up.
amazing.
To start this. And I finally went to my first Springsteen
I mean,
show.
Born in the USA, no.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Oh, you scared me for a second. Robert, you go.
Yeah,
while
I think
Judy
I
thinks.
think Lunder.
Oh, you can go.
Wait, I'm looking them up, all of them.
Or Jungle Land.
I was gonna say Jungle Land. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Jungle
You know
Land.
why I want to? Can I change
no,
mine?
no, I
change yours.
I'm going Jungle Land.
I'm doing
I'm Jungle Land. What's yours, Robert? Candy's Room?
See, I like the whole darkness on the edge of town
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah, right on. All right. So you're going with Jungle Land so we can end the podcast?
Yeah, I'm going with Jungle Land. I was just looking at
Joey,
that
what's your
podcast.
favorite Bruce Springsteen song?
Thunder Road, no question. But I'm with Robert as far as my favorite album, Darkness.
Oh, really? That's
Wait, there's someone else on the.
No, that was my acting. How good was that? He's gonna add. He did already. He edited.
Oh, all right.
But I didn't hear that because we taped this.
Oh, all right.
But was my acting
Theater
good?
of the
It was
mind.
good. That was good. I'm like, wait, what the fuck's going on?
Joey, take it away. The great and very funny
Love
Judy
you.
Gold. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy Gold, for hanging with us at Gebhards in New York City. We'll leave links to follow you in our show notes. Hey, if you're listening to this podcast, you have to subscribe. Don't be that person who's downloading, listening, but not subscribing. Rate us 5 stars at Apple Podcasts. Check out OpieRadio.com for a stream of this show and merch. Grab a shirt or a hat and show the world that you're in a special club, a community that is Opie Radio. Edie, grab that guitar. Let's jam.
Westwood One Podcast Network, The Raven Effect.
So here's the wedding rebuttal. This is so funny how much I forgot. She goes, you didn't decide to take me to Vegas. You offered to take me on a trip for the holiday, and you told me that I could pick anywhere in the world that I wanted to go. The one place I always wanted to go but had never been to was Vegas. That's why we went to Vegas.
The Raven Effect. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network.